welcome to another episode of Fish Innovation. I'm really excited to talk to you today about a guest we have. His name is Tristan. He's from the Netherlands. He's a founder. And what's so amazing about what he's done is he's been able to create a platform where if you have any idea or a problem you want to solve or some web-based or mobile-based application that says, hey, I want to build this, but I just don't know how to do it, he's enabled you to do just that. You can build it from scratch, all the back end information, whatever it may be, you can build it end to end and deliver it for yourself or anybody else. So I want to welcome him to the show today. Tristan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ben.
Yeah, this is so exciting. I love, so your company is NoCodeX, and
Correct.
it's an amazing platform. Somebody who has no technical background can literally jump onto this and with a few tutorials and getting themselves wet with it, they can build whatever they want to their heart's desires. Any idea is there, and they don't necessarily have to have a person. They basically have a CTO joined to the hip. They may be an AI virtual CEO, but it's going to be one of the best CTOs, in that exists out there. Would love to hear, how did you end up founding NoCodeX?
Okay, cool. So we actually founded, so the company is actually called Codex, and that's because we founded it a couple of years ago in 2018. And I don't know if you were aware with the GDPR legislation, but back then we had this great idea that we're gonna create a software that would help organizations to become in line with that legislation. So we would make it far easier for organizations to abide by the law, actually, with regards to GDPR. And our first product was actually Codex, and we have managed to bring it to the market and managed to sell it to a lot of companies within Europe. The only thing that we noticed is that many organizations, either small or big, struggle with handling their data in a secure way. And not only the small ones, but also the big ones that have the capacity to have like a whole team of developers, even they struggle with securing their data, securing the applications that they build on a day-to-day basis. And that's why we created NoCodeX. And NoCodeX is actually created in our mind. We want to make it easy for everybody, even if you're a small entrepreneur, or even if you're a bigger company, want to make it easy for you to create automation, to create applications, to create any idea, but to do it in a very good way, by the book, so to say, to make the data as secure as possible for you to enjoy secure automation. That's the backstory of NoCodeX.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I love, first off, the fact that you had an idea and it was working well, and then you saw a need and you said, hey, we can use the same IP here we did, and let's pivot and let's create something that not just one person, but everybody and anybody can do this for themselves. That's amazing. I think a lot of founders do struggle with that too, like how to pivot, when to see an opportunity and pounce on it. And you're doing it, you're living it. That's amazing. On the platform itself, when you were talking about safety and security, I think that's something that is definitely overlooked by a lot of founders when they're building is, yeah, you'll get to it and it's important, but you want to get your product out there. And the reason why a lot of folks are not doing that to start, like the quality assurance and making sure it's safe and secure, is because it takes time and it
Yeah.
costs resources. And so you basically created a way to say, don't worry about that. We've got you covered. You can do everything you still want to do and get to market fast and be compliant.
Yeah, but because when you have an idea in your head, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to get something out of there in the market. You're not thinking about security. You're thinking about the execution of your idea. And that's what you have to be doing. And that's what we want you to think about, not about security. We'll think about that. We'll make sure it's robust. We'll make sure that it has all the latest updates for you to sleep tight at night, for your data of your startup to be secure. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
No, it's great, and I look at it as like a lucky strike extra, right? Like, you're already creating a way for somebody who doesn't have a technical background to create a platform or a software, and then you're saying, "Well, we're not just gonna create software for you, we're gonna create compliant, safe, and secure software that you could turn around and put into the market and not have a worry that something's gonna hurt you down the road." So, that's phenomenal. Speaking of, automations, and we know that agents are really hot, and we know that's definitely something you could do on your platform. As we think about trends and the future, what are some things that you've been thinking about for NoCodeX and how people who want to build, will be able, and what does the future of that look like?
Yeah, yeah. So at the moment, Ben, our platform is a combination of AI agents and a visual layer that helps you build your dream in a visual way. So you connect blocks together. You can think of them as Lego blocks, and that is your automation in the end. But then as I told you, it's a combination of AI assistants that help you connect those blocks together as well. Now, we're going a little bit further than that in the near future, and we're adding a layer on top of that. Thanks to AI, we can do that, and we can make it even more accessible to anybody. Because what we want to achieve is we want to get you from an idea to a secure application in less than 10 minutes time. And we create that layer on top of it, thanks to AI again. Um, that will help you go from a really small prompt, a really small explanation on what is in your head. It will help you brainstorm about the experience of the user. It will go through step by step what the user will experience. You can, of course, go back and forth with the AI to make adjustments or go in there yourself and make adjustments where needed. Then it'll map out all the features that are needed in your application. Once that is done, it'll map out all the to-dos that a normal developer would or a developer in NoCodeX would do to make this possible. And then it will just execute those to-dos entirely based on your first couple of lines of explanation on what is inside your head. And at the end of this process, you should be able, you should have a completely working application that is not only exactly like you imagined it, but also secure and can be put in production straight away. You don't have to take the code and then go and look for a hosting solution for your newly application. No, you can just click publish and it's on production and it can be used by your users.
That's amazing. I mean, this is a dream come true to anybody who has always said, "I have this great idea and I just don't know how to get it out there." I mean, maybe if you talk to your friends today, they would say, "Oh, well, you got to go get funding, then you'll buy a development team, you'll do all these things, and $1 million later, you got something that's in market, but maybe it's not working." And you could feel like a failure, which is okay because you'll learn from that, and we know that we get there. But what no codex allows you to do is actually fail fast with
Yes.
low risk. I mean, you don't even have to fund. You don't have to go out and get the funding. I mean, yes, you want to pay for the platform to be able to have access to it, but really low buy-in to get there.
Yeah.
And go
And
ahead.
and if you get the funding, you might as well use it for other things than to develop the platform.
Yeah,
You probably want to spend it on marketing or anything
yeah,
else or sales,
yeah,
the stuff that actually validates your idea.
yeah. And get, I mean, the market research out there. I mean, you're taking something that could take somebody 8 to 12 months to just get to a place where they could take it to market and research and get feedback, to 10 minutes. You could wake up that morning, go, "Yeah, I have this idea about doing X," and then go, "Oh, let me go into my no codex." And then 10 minutes later, you're like, "Great, I got the idea. Let me go blast it out in a LinkedIn post and see if people would be interested in testing it out and see what it's all about." And by dinner, you've got feedback to go back and now
To
back into
go
no
back and
codex and say,
reiterate.
yeah,
Yeah.
reiterate and say, "Here's the feedback." And then in 10 minutes, you've got something for tomorrow morning to send out again.
And the beauty is, Ben, once you go through this, and I haven't told you this, but we call this rocket mode because it gets you going like a rocket. But once you get through the rocket mode, you release your first version, you get some feedback from your users. It's never gonna be perfect. It's always, there's always gonna be some thing that you have to change to make it better, to make it to achieve more traction. Once you get that feedback, you as a non-technical person can go down into the graphical layer of NoCodeX and adjust by just playing around with the Lego blocks. So we don't generate code, we generate a graphical, a visual representation of the code for you that you will be able to understand, and you will be able to change yourself. So you're not, we're not getting you there 90%, we're getting you there 100%.
Yeah. And that's so exciting for someone like myself in product management who's got that background, but not the technical side. This is a dream come true. But for somebody out there who doesn't have any of that, any of those skill sets, they could be maybe a lawyer and they could say, I wish I could make my job faster. And so that kind of brings up something interesting is seen a lot on LinkedIn today. A lot of technology experts are writing and saying, you know what? I've discontinued all of my SaaS subscriptions. And people are like, what's going on? Why are you discontinuing them? It's like, well, because I only use 5% of what I'm paying for and I've got to pay for the whole thing. Well, now with NoCodeX, you could essentially build, hey, this is what I use today from this particular platform. All I need is this particular feature. You can go build it yourself and have it, and it's for your own personal use, which is the whole point. And guess what? You paid for it one time, and that wasn't even, you're just paying for NoCodeX. You created it, and now you have it for yourself or your company to use.
Yeah, please continue, Ben.
No, I mean, that's incredible. You're saving companies thousands, if not millions of dollars for people to be able to do it. And remember too, it's like you said, it's compliant and it's all safety and secure. So even if you're at a big corporation and you want to build something for yourself, there's high probability that you're going to be able to get it through compliance because of the fact that it's built with this safety and security in mind. Probably not the best use case, but I'm sure folks that are at small and medium businesses, same, you'd be have a lot easier time of getting it through and saving themselves a lot of money.
Yeah. And you know, what always bugged me about SaaS, Ben, is the companies that buy the SaaS products, or the entrepreneurs, they always have to change their own process according to how the SaaS product works.
Yeah.
And now these roles are being, thanks to AI and thanks to the revolution we're going through today, these roles are completely being shook up, and more custom software will be flooding into the market. And the cool thing is, with NoCodeX, you can build whatever you paid for previously at SaaS companies, you can build yourself. And if you're a sharing person, you can put it on the marketplace in NoCodeX, and other people can use what you've built and tweak it exactly according to their needs. So they can start off from a blueprint that you did, and they can go ahead and tweak it exactly to their need to be able to follow their own process, because that's what makes companies competitors compatible with each other. Their processes are so important, and how the more the efficient more how efficiently more efficient their processes are, how better they are against their competitors. So that's very important, and it's a very interesting time we live in, that we see the shift in software.
That's amazing. I mean, the marketplace, that is phenomenal. You have, I mean, so we just talked about, hey, people who have ideas, they can see it out there. But then there's people who need inspiration, right? That you might not even know that there's something out there that could help me that you might not have thought about. You can look through this marketplace and literally see somebody thought of this idea. I wasn't even thinking of that. And this is how it's helping them. I need that too. I just need to tweak it a little bit for my own specific case, but now I can take this and in 10 minutes, I have exactly what I need, and I can even make it better and put it back on the marketplace and say, look what I
Yeah.
did with it.
And we've talked about the rocket mode, and this is coming into NoCodeX in the next couple of weeks.
Mhm.
But once we finish rocket mode, our next big step is where we allow the AI layer that we put on top to have knowledge about what is inside the marketplace, and then the AI layer will help you choose the correct plugins for your application that you're building, and will already say, "Hey, Tristan, you're trying to build something, but it has already been built by somebody." And you can just download it. You don't have to waste AI credits to build it. Just download it, install it, and then you're like 50% there already. And then we'll take over from there.
That's wow. I mean, that's amazing because you could essentially use NoCodeX as a research platform to find what exists to see if it's already built. Like if you had a client, right? You could that has a need for something. You could go in there and say, you know what, I built this platform for you because these other people are using it. Save your money. And here's something that's personalized to you and your company and branded in your company and everything.
Yeah.
And now you're getting paid to use NoCodeX. They don't, your client who might not have, again, the, the intuition with AI or how to even work with NoCodeX as a platform, but you're a user of it, you can turn around and make a profit from, from using NoCodeX. So if anything, if you're just thinking about a side hustle or be a gig worker, NoCodeX should be the platform to go to basically bring anything to life for anybody.
Yes.
That's wow, that's phenomenal. All these updates, all this really cool stuff. That's amazing. What on the platform, what do you see is probably the highest use case? I know you can do agents and you can do conversation bots and you can do a ton of stuff. What do you see a lot of people using no codex for? What are they building there today?
Yeah, it's really um it differs a lot from use case to use case. We've got people building, for example, they're building their own SaaS products, uh, as we mentioned. We've got people building software for use in the medical sector,
Mhm.
where they, for example, have software for clinical trials, stuff like that. We also have people building software for security assessments. For example, we've got some here in Belgium. We also have some municipalities that actually work with NoCodex and build secure software within NoCodex. So it's really it's a broad range of what you can do with NoCodex. We call ourselves a full stack web application development platform, which actually means you can build applications. You can also build APIs if you don't need pages. You can just build those APIs. You can build automation that runs, for example, every week or every day, a process that runs and gives you a. For example, I'm just gonna give an example. Gives you like a mail in your mailbox, reading you all the or giving you all the information about topics that you're interested in. For example, I'm just thinking out loud here. Um, there is so much that you can do because we've put all the building blocks into place for you to do whatever automation that you want to do. And that's what we see with our users today. What they are building differs so much from user A to user B, but they all have this one thing in common. They are non-technical, and they want to build something that is secure. They don't want to build something where they can, for example, after they build it, their API key gets leaked, or the personal data that they gather, which they are responsible for, by the way, gets leaked. So they're concerned with that, and they choose for NoCodeX for exactly that reason.
Yeah, and that would only ever be on no codex just given that because you don't want to have any of those things go wrong, especially if you're ideating and you've got your IP and none of that stuff. It's really going back to kind of what you're saying, these different areas. And I know some folks in the audience might not always follow what you said. So I'm gonna help, right? So with API, basically we kind of think about that as a waiter right? So you go to a restaurant, you order, the waiter is the API. So you tell the waiter what you want. The waiter then goes back to the kitchen to deliver that, to say to the chef, hey, this is what I need made. The chef makes it, gives it back to the waiter, again, the API, and the API goes to the diner and then goes, here's your food. And it should be correct, right? What was
Yeah.
ordered. Now, why APIs are so important today is because when we think about a lot of these platforms out there, they contain information and they do different things. So if you are trying to develop an idea that needs to grab from different areas across the world, that you're gonna need an API, which is the waiter that's gonna go back to each of these chefs that make the goods and bring it back to you. So that's really important, that if you thought about today or even a year ago or more, you would have entire teams building API documentation. It would take 2, 3 months in larger companies to build an API document with the compliance, with the coding, et cetera. We're talking seconds here, on NoCodeX. Then the next thing you mentioned, which is a real hot topic, is agents and automation. So when we think about automation, it says it right there in the word. We automate. And probably back in the day on Excel, we would have talked about it as a macro, right? But you're only in Excel. But if you think about it, if you've got some daily task that you're repetitive, example would be, maybe you want to get reporting on your product. Okay, you're a business owner, maybe you sell toys and you want to see what your sales look like every day. Well, yeah, there's a lot of platforms out there that I'm sure will look into it, but maybe there was something specific you want to know about your product, but that software can't tell you that. Well, you could go build this and you can say, I need to know exactly who's buying my stuff, right? What is it? People who are using MasterCard? Is it Visa? I want to know what banks and issuers for whatever reason. And so you could build that with your platform, that small little thing. And then that automation daily will then go to your email and tell you, here's a report of the day of how many people who used a MasterCard bought your product. And here's the different products they bought. You can do whatever you want with that information. I'm just making it up, but now you don't have to seek that out every day. That is something specific that you can help with your business do it. And then on top of that, you can actually add in, what does that mean, right? So maybe you said, here's the automation, and that's where we get into an agent. So you can build on NoCodeX an agent that says, so what about that information? What I want to see is, I don't want to see the report. What I want to see is maybe helpful guidance on what I should do with that information. Well, now you have a little mini consultant with you, which is your agent, which is not only grabbing that information you requested, but it's also giving an analysis and a sentiment behind it that you could do something with. So now you have an entire team of people working for you, but it's just you, and it's an AI that you were able to build all across NoCodeX. Tremendous.
And to give you maybe a very good example that I just thought of, we have a customer of NoCodeX, and they're a sales company. So they do outbound sales, and they are sales companies are notorious for the amount of software they use. They use a lot of different tools for a lot of different customers of them, and all of those tools have their own separate dashboards within the tool, but they want to share the dashboards with their customers. But the problem is, if they do that, they would have to buy another seat for each of those
Yeah.
SaaS products that they use, and that would be way too costly. Well, what they do, they use NoCodeX to build a unified dashboard of all those products that they use, and they deliver those dashboards to their customers. So they don't have to pay for an extra seat in each and every product that they use. For example, in Clay and what is it, Woodpecker, and all the different campaign software out there. They build a dashboard in NoCodeX, they deliver this to their customers, and then this is a very cost effective way for them to deliver information to their customers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Like, I mean, you said it, combine that with the fact that all these different tech stacks that you have as a sales agent, you're not going to be able to give them exactly what you need. But now you can take everything you have and translate it into what's going to be important and relevant for your customer. And we talk about personalization all the time. Today, in today's world, when you're going to build any product, it's got to be high touch, high digital, but then also high personalization and these learning curves on these different platforms, right? Why spend money and time paying for, you get the idea, they did a good job at marketing, they went and told you, hey, this is what it will do. Oh, I need that. And then you find yourself spending hours trying to figure out how to use it. You forget why you bought it. You're going through and you go, well, I don't know. And you're hitting your head on the table. Why not just say, oh, I see that. Let me go build that NoCodeX for what I want to do. I don't need to learn it because I just need to say to it, this is what I want it to do every day. And now I have my own personalized product with the concept there. Now, I'm not saying, hey, you're stealing IP from somebody or whatever, but you are seeing the inspiration. You're seeing the inspiration to what fits you in your square, a circle that goes into a circular hole, not a square trying to be fit into a circle. Yeah, it probably could go, but it's going to take you a long time to get it through, and it's going to be really hard, which is buying a SaaS.
How I see it is you either invest 10 times your time to learn 10 different tools, or you invest your time into something like NoCodeX and you start building yourself, and then you can have all the tools you want, and
Yes.
you know how they work because you've built them yourself.
Yeah, and the relevance too. I mean, how many times we bought a piece of software that was great for the moment, and then 6 months later, maybe even that soon, we're like,
I
things
don't
are
need it
so
anymore.
rapid and
Yeah.
changing. Now what do I do? I got to go get another platform, or I got to pay more money, or this one's you got to evaluate that. You might end up just paying for it because you paid for the whole year and you're not even using it anymore. With NoCodeX, you can come up with a new idea or a new use and go, okay, I'm done with using that one. I'm ready for the new one. And didn't cost you anything except 10
So
minutes of
that's
your
also
time.
it's also the beauty of our mindset, or our view on things. We don't like to set artificial limitations on our platform.
Mhm.
So if you buy subscription to NoCodex, we say you can build as many applications as you want, as many as you want, as long as they fit within your subscription. We're not saying, Ben, you bought one subscription and it's good for 10 applications. No, Ben, build 1,000 applications if you want. And if you have like from those applications, you have like 900 that you're not using, those won't nibble at your subscription at the moment. So that's our view on things. And that fits perfectly with the mindset of somebody that wants to build an application, use it for a couple of months, use it as long as it is relevant, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, think about the average user. Yes, like we just said, but even the founder who's trying to figure out how do I fail fast? That's important to
Yeah,
learn.
correct.
Think about the process today. You're going to have to go back to your development team. You're going to have to work with them, try to communicate effectively. Each change you make to try, at each failure point is going to take 6 months, right? Maybe on the earlier side, 3 months if you're just adding in a few features. But there's all that time that you're losing trying to even see if that next iteration is going to be the right one. With NoCodeX, it's 10 minutes, if that, right? And you can sit and iterate over and over and over, but you're getting the feedback in real time from people, and you're able to just become up with the next big idea. And that's so critical. And it's not going to cost you all of your time and money to do it. You could do it, like I said, on the side if you want it.
Yeah, correct.
That's, oh man, it's one of my favorite platforms. It gets me excited. I talk to people about it nonstop. I'm so glad that I was able to get you from building a better NoCodeX for everybody that could get your time on here. Um, I love, is there anything else that you'd want to share with folks that maybe we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, well, and then we're digging into the not so well. We already dug into the near future with the rocket mode on NoCodeX. Um, The next big thing for NoCodeX is actually having you export your code from NoCodeX. So, and that's what we're working at today. As I told you, we create a visual layer on top of the codes for you to be able to understand it and adjust it in any way that you need. But we don't want to lock in anybody. We want, once you've grown to a certain stage and you need to go to another way of hosting, fine. And by me, you can export your code. We don't want to lock in, and we don't want you to spend again the money and the sweat and the blood and the tears to build a new version of your old application. That's being said, our strategy is then, of course, we want to do as much as possible to keep you in NoCodeX. And that's our job. What we see today is that the whole market is focusing on, and we as well, of course, are focusing on how can we get people to easily build products. The next big thing for us is how can we make sure that the products that are running in production are running good and are able to become better and better over time constantly. And that's why we are also offering the runtime within NoCodeX. And we are gathering information from your application in your runtime. For example, we are gathering all errors that happen during running your application. We are gathering performance downgrades. For example, if you release a new version to production and you have a performance downgrade, a page that runs a bit slower, we are gathering information on UX of your application, and we will be able to use this information to feed you with new ideas on how to improve your application further.
That's wow. That is awesome. I mean, you all you have to do is just have a little bit of a seedling of an idea, and you're creating a way for someone from end to end to have almost the perfect product out there. That is wow. I'm blown away right now. That I'm just thinking there's so many people out there that they're always worried about their website, or they're always worried about how should I be able to see if things are working, or how do I get it out there? And you just created that. Somebody could go build a website on NoCodeX with everything working functionality of how you want it done, but it's going to give you the guidance to do that, right? Like it's going to be able to say, hey, you're going to need a calendar appointment. If you're making, if you're going to be a dog grooming company, people are going to have to book with you, right? Did you think about that? Oh, no, you're right. I didn't think about that. I'm going to need that. So it's going to go and put that in there for you. And it's going to say, well, you need to collect money from people. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do want to get paid. And it's walking you step by step. So just the simplest concept. So you could, and I'm not saying you would, but you could give NoCodeX to a 9-year-old and say, you have an idea for a company? Here you go,
Fine.
build it.
Let's think about it together. Eh?
Yeah.
As you say it, Ben, NoCodex is really good, and I'm very impulsive myself. It's very good for people that want to act immediately
Mhm.
and do something, roll up their sleeves, go for it. And NoCodex helps you think and helps you make sure that you don't forget anything along the way because you're so eager to start.
Yeah, it's that hand holding or guidance, again, a consultant, however you want to name it, it is there to be along that journey. I think we talked about this right now. First off, you want to make sure, like you said, your mission is to get people to be able to build things quickly out there and not have any barriers to do that. And I think it's awesome that you're offering 25% discount. We'll put the link in the comment section and on the show site. In the show notes, you'll be able to see exactly that link that you'll be able to use to go get NoCodeX at 25% off, which is incredible. And you're going to be able to start doing today whatever idea you have. If something from the show motivated you, or you want to do that dog grooming company that you always wanted to do and you never knew how to start it, here, there you go. And you know what? It might even be in the community. So you can just build your own from there.
Voila, voila, indeed.
Yeah. Well, Tristan, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, or actually, I should say night, and to coming to speak with us and shedding light on No Codex and making people aware that this platform exists. I don't think people even knew that it was possible. They knew there's a lot going out there. They might not have a lot of insight. So I think on this, we were able to help people solve and get more understanding and educated around this area. But at the end of the day is you have an idea and you want to see it out there quickly, you get No Codex, find out what it's all about, and you're good to go. So I want to thank you again, Tristan, for coming.
Thank you for having me, Ben. It was my pleasure.
So I hope everyone out there enjoyed what was discussed today. It is phenomenal. It's again the most exciting thing that I talk about it almost every day to whoever I come across, because it's everybody has to have this. Even if you don't even have an idea, it's something you have to go get. It's gonna be amazing. And with that, I want you guys to keep on innovating and have a great week. Bye.